I actually waiting for something something to arrive today, but apparently I think it will arrive tomorrow. Uh, I posted something in my main channel and well 반응이 그렇게 좋은 게 아니에요. The the 반응이 well the reaction that I got is not as I would expect how it's going to be, but then I remember that let's record it again. Like we can do that again. Like do the reposting itself. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just that it needs to be welcome. That's the thing. And I feel myself I'm not welcoming the thing that I posted. Except when I post it in Facebook. So I decided to repost it, the thing that I just posted couple of days ago. But then I need this devices, the mic, the new mic. So I wonder like where do I need to look? Do I need to look at the camera itself or do I like look at the picture of myself? So yeah. Um but that I think it will arrive tomorrow and then I will start to do that again. But then I have this thing going on and it has been a habit for me to whenever I'm waiting something, I'm just going to wait for that thing and I'm not going to do anything else. And it feels heavy to do something else. So, what? So, I just do nothing today except for this. And it was so late at night and now it's 11:38 p.m. and I'm like maybe I always want to delay this, but then I'm like let's just put this one out. And I don't know what that is. I feel like that's an ADHD because I'm so fixated on something and it caused me to never change my focus. But then, like, it probably that, but also like the anxiety itself to have something else going on. It's never been in my mind. I'm just like so fixating. Okay, when is the mic going to come? When is the mic going to come? I'm so excited, but also anxious at the same time. So that's the thing that I have. And I never have a title for it, but I learned over time that people have this thing called ADHD, and that's what that is that you're fixating on just one thing until you finish everything, and then you move on to the next thing. I somewhat can navigate it pretty well, but then at most cases it was just like that. Like I can't do anything else besides just waiting. It's not a good feeling, but never try to title myself because then I put the label too groundedly. Is that even a word? Like I put it into like something I believe that I am when I essentially it is a habit that I usually it's a habit that I usually do whenever I have that. So it's not great. That's all I know because what I'm doing that it's not that I'm like serene, I'm peaceful and all that stuff. I'm anxious. I'm anxious in total in the moment of it. So you know when it's midnight and my cat Zoom is all over the places. So, and I have three kids, so they are still like really young. So there'll be Zoom is all over the place now, and then you'll see all the shadows behind me. So that's one of the things that is going to happen in this video. So pardon the intrusion. But yeah, I never actually title whatever it is that I experience because it makes the experience harder to change, which is the core of meaning of why was something needs to change. And I just define it as a, okay, I am delaying doing something else. I feel anxious and all that stuff. The critical symptoms that is happening within that experience is what I usually define, not as a coherent title that just focus on the one aspect of the experience. Anyway, what do you call that? Sometimes I remember a title of something and then I just never feel aligned with it and then I forget it. Then I remember it and then I forget it. It's like it's such a fluid definition for me. Well, that's that. But there are many other things that happen today besides just that. I also want to talk about how I have this thing that whenever I see someone having a hard time or maybe they are falling to their lowest, I always like have this expectation, have this confidence that they can overcome the situation. I hope they can overcome the situation. I expect them to take the opportunity to take the to shift the energy in such a slow motion way, in a way that we are there with them, processing whatever it is that they are experiencing. But but then it also changed into something more beautiful. And I see this thing with so many celebrities and public figure and influencer, and they are having this narrative that put themselves down in a lowest frequency. And whenever I see that, I don't judge them. That's what you get, which is what most people do. And it's like, well, I knew it is going to happen, all that stuff. I used to have that too, but then I realized this feeling is not that great. Like judging people based on their current situation instead of having the expectation that they can turn the things around is not a good feeling, because you left with this feeling that was so icky, that was so sticky within your system that you never get to overcome it. And you just multiply this experience in a different area of your life and you never get into this positivity. And that gets me like really, really sick, because I'm like, what? Why am I feeling this way? Like it's not my problem, to be honest. But then when people have it, it's like it becomes my problem, because then it's like you are in my reality, and because I see you, and I'm like, no, I don't want to buy that. But then, like, I never get to process. I never got to process that experience in itself. Whenever I see someone and I feel like, well, that's what you get. I never get to process that feeling, because it just the system in itself dictate me to have that kind of reaction. So in order to change that, I eventually take the lead to change my own perspective. And I catch right on. It's like, okay, I'm having this reaction of like, that's what I knew. I knew that. I knew that's going to happen for you. One is sneezing, one is zooming, the other is like, what did we talk about? Okay. So yeah, title. I think it's not you that was distracted. It was me. It was a warning for myself to not get distracted. But I have 8 cats. One is mating outside. One is sick, and the other 6 is playing zoomies all over. And I'm distracted. No, I don't know what I have talked about. But if we are going to pick some new topics, what would it be? Oh, we were talking about people having their lowest and knowing how to rebound from the area. Yeah, that's just my thing. And I get to transform that reaction. And whenever I see someone visibly in front of my awareness having such a lowest point of life, I'm like, okay, you can get out from this. I know that. You just need to be aware of your circumstances and said, I'm gonna lead my way. I know that I can change this. But that confidence doesn't come as easy if you have been stuck there for so long. If you are understanding from the get go, okay, this is the thing that I actually want to change, don't jump. Then you will change because it's that easy to change. And I understand that catching yourself firsthand, the moment it happened, is what's hard, what is difficult. And that's also like what I used to struggle with because what am I feeling? What is this experience? What is this moment? What is this impulse? And catching yourself in that moment are do not jump. Tiujima. If I were to explain this catching yourself, it's like you are tuning into your impulse, into your system, into your nervous system, into your. Oh my god, I'm so distracted with my cat. Into your step of experience. And slowing it down when you're always on the go, it's difficult. And then you need to slow down your breathing, slow down your thoughts, slow down your emotion, and then you start to see, oh, it actually evolved this way. But sometimes when you're trying to catch yourself, you need to let it happen first. And then the next time you understand, you review what you just experienced, then you understand, oh, I actually can catch it right there. And then the next time you experience that again, you kind of like remember, oh, I need to catch myself at this moment. And then you catch yourself and then you start to rebound from that moment. Happy, yeah, happy, happy, happy. Wait a minute. Yeah. How you going? Yeah. If catching yourself is hard, and then the next step that I also struggle with is actually embodiment. It's actually feeling that positive energy changes and then knowing, oh, I actually landed here, it actually landed here, oh, I actually fit in between of this thing here. And that is also the struggle that I experienced in the past. But you learn to catch on what is actually what actually fit you best. And the feeling of embodiment is really trial one, two, three, and so on. It's not like you get everything right at the first trial. What is that? I think that's my cat also, like the one who's mating outside. And yeah, the embodiment itself. The embodiment is something that no one can teach you because it happens within yourself and you need to experience it to actually know what that actually look like. And someone can like me can say that okay, it happened this way for me, it happened this way for me, but you need to take the lead for your own life because then you get to see, oh, this is how it changed, oh, this is how I experience it, oh, this is how I embody it, and everything starts to flow that way. And then the next step is actually integrating, which is I'm still struggling right now. Is that not mixing? You just like combine in such a linear energetic that you don't actually confuse yourself between different personas, different area of life. It's such a switch on and off that when you try to be something else that was so contrasting to the holistic identity of who you are, which is still you, but it was so different than everything else, then you start to contradict yourself eventually. And that contradiction is something that needs to be avoided because there is not the finish line. You know, like there is no food in my hands, girl. Do do do, God, do not jump in. This chair is taken. Oh, there's 9 minutes left. I don't know if I can take all of it. So integration is mixing, not compounding, no. Having it all interconnected into one straight idea. And when you are having that integration going, sometimes the thing that you experience is so contrast that you don't know how to actually integrate it in the first place. Like I do. I have my usual MBTI is INTJ. INTJ is generally very rigid, very strict, very to the point, on task, and all that stuff. It was not meant to be a psychologist, it was not meant to be a mediator, but my mission in life is actually to be that. So, from one end of the spectrum that was so rigid into the other side of the spectrum, and that's why you need like 20 years of initiation just to make this persona integrated within myself. And when I start to show up, I start to show what I'm here for. What I'm struggling with is actually having my integrity intact, but also my fluidity in conversation intact. That thing is, it's not easy. I stumble quite a lot. I mean, like for the last, since 2020, for the last 6 years, I've been trying here and there. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then I come to conclusion that sometimes you don't need to integrate it in such a way. If it's so different, if it's so contrasting like that, it doesn't need to be like mixing in a way that everything is just such a linear line. Sometimes the buffer exists for that reason because the contrast persona, just the INTJ and the mediator, mediator of myself exists for people who have this such a deep in the darkness, don't know what to do, and they're just like deep in agony and all that stuff, and they need the slowness of support. That's when I come in as a mediator. But when someone is actually, they are fine, they're looking for action and it's like on the go things, then I'm just gonna stick with the INTJ. That I don't need to be the mediator. And that buffer has actually stuck me for quite a long time. And then I start to remember, why do I actually want that? And I honestly remember myself, oh, I actually want it to be fun. I want it to be easy. I want it to be like smooth and all that stuff. But it doesn't go that way. There are pacing, there are songs, there are change in the rhythm that you cannot mix, and you just like transition into that area. And I understand that recently, 2026. And I'm like, oh, that's what it means. You're trying to make a song out of everything that you know is true for you, and that was integrating really is. And that's one of the things that I come across in my mastery is that you don't need to mix everything well. It just need to be in the right time, in the right place, whenever you need it, and you know how to access it. And now I do. That's like the three things that I know. Is that catching yourself, embodying the things that you have, and then integrating all the different parts of yourself. That's pretty hard to do. I don't know what is challenging for you. Maybe like understanding your emotion is hard. Maybe speaking your truth is hard. Maybe saying no is hard. People have different things, and you are not alienated for having different things. I think like that's the last thing I want to say before I close the video because it's already 25 minutes and I need to catch my cat. Okay, so if you got anything, let me know in the comment. I will see you tomorrow.